After 2 losses to open the season, the Cadets couldn't afford any more mulligans in the 6-game regular season. An impromptu pregame meal before a Week 3 matchup with Spencerport provided all the fuel Lapani needed to light a fire under his inexperienced team.
There was a modified parent who brought a sheet, 2-sheet breakfast pizzas from Wegmans, eggs, cheese, and sausage. And we're just kind of hovering around there waiting for our pregame stuff to start. She's like, oh yeah, you guys can have some. So we just, of course, just housed it.
I don't think the eaters of that breakfast pizza had bad intentions when they grabbed a slice or two.
Lapani lit into his team with another of his legendary fiery speeches.
But Coach Lapani took us up there. I remember he told one player, Tyler Klimack, to just take his pads off. Something like that. Meanwhile, our captain and Captain America, Greg Earnhardt, there's no ramifications for him.
Hey, if you're hungry, you gotta eat.
Dude, I didn't eat it with bad intentions. It's breakfast pizza. It's delicious. I'm gonna eat it. You know, who the hell wouldn't?
Lapani's speech turned into a Hilton football history lesson that hit close to home for his starting tight end.
And Coach Lapani was naming players in Hilton's history who have made an impact and were guys that did great. And he said Mike Peachy.
You hear Jake Smith, Nick Bell, all of a sudden Mike Peachy, and Ryan and I just had to hold back from not laughing. We thought that was really funny for some reason. We left that locker room and he'd put us in our place. So we got on that bus, we were walking out. I just remember Greg just looked more focused than I had ever seen him, or maybe even anyone. And I knew there was no way that game was even going to be close.
I think we would have stopped him either way, but
I knew they were small. I was pretty excited to throw some kids around. Like I said, we needed to prove ourselves, so I think we all wanted to do that, and we knew we could.
Brought down by number 63, Greg Earnhardt.
Hilton once again jumped out to an early 14-0 lead before letting Spencerport get on the board. That's when Lapani called Peachy's number.
9:27 Redskin pass right is called. I'm going to be wide open. Run down the field. I catch the ball. I start running. I wish I would have scored. I got tackled at the 1. It's silly to say, just a huge relief off my chest. I was like, hey, you finally caught the ball. You finally did what you had always wanted to do. You know, get a big play on offense. You know, help your team do something that, you know, will hopefully help us win. We didn't need much help winning that game, anyways. But it was just like, you know, I pointed at my dad. Really corny, but it was just like, 'cause my dad had always helped me throughout my career. So it just felt great.
It was great for him to make a play like that. I mean, I knew how bad he wanted it. I knew how much it meant to him and his family. You know, anything that helped our team at that point, even if there was a little bit of jealousy of him or of, you know, any of a number of guys on our team. That was always there, but ultimately it was good for our team. He deserved it.
Joe's a hardworking, honest kid. You know, he wasn't the biggest or the fastest either, but he put in a lot of work in the offseason, played his ass off on the field, and I think he earned everything that he got.
This pass is caught off the deflection by number 45, Joe Peachy. It's good for Hilton's first down.
Work hard and put a lot of effort into things, and it will definitely pay off for you.
He did what worked for him, and he ended up having a much more successful high school career than I did.
Thanks to Peachy's catch and 4 touchdowns by senior running back Brett Clark, Diedrich did get on the field and recorded a forced fumble in his first action of the season as the Cadets rolled to a 42-14 win.
I mean, we whooped them pretty good. You know, we finally did the things on the field that we knew we could do.
It was a breakout game for Clark, the workhorse who electrified Hilton's offense.
Brett is a crazy son of a bitch. The kid has the greatest motor of any football player I've ever played with.
He's a great player. He had a great, huge motor. Kid's nuts, but he kept on getting up, and even after he was laid out.
For Brett Clark. And
Clark was the team's only returning starter in 2007. Playing flanker as a junior, he caught just 7 passes, but 4 went for touchdowns.
Number 10, Brett Clark.
I knew Brett growing up because his dad was good friends with my dad. And so my first year playing football, he was our quarterback, and I played with him for many years. He played about every skill position possible. And he was, you always thought of him as the best player on the team. He just had a motor that seemed to be propelled by like jet engine fuel and kerosene. It didn't stop. It was incredible. And you loved playing with him because you knew he was tougher than at least any skill position player on the field. You were happy to have him on your side any sport you played, any position he played.
There he is. Star of the game as far as I'm concerned. Brett Clark, boy, what a game.
The Pawnee moved Clark to running back prior to the 2007 season. As Clark went, so did the Hilton offense.
3-yard touchdown run for Hilton.
And the big question before our senior season was who was going to be our running back. And for some reason I just never thought of Brett because I assumed he'd play receiver at that time, but that turned out to be the best decision anyone could have made that year, was moving him to running back.
The toll that kid took, the punishment and the pounding, it was crazy. I think he was about the only one who could do that. The way he played, he led by example.
Opposing coaches couldn't help but laud Clark's efforts.
He had like 30, 40 carries every game, and he just kept on getting up. And he's a tough kid. It was a pleasure playing with him. He earned everything he got.
There was never a question whether he left everything on the field.
The Cadets finally got to play under the lights at LeBeau Field in Hilton in Week 4 against Greece Olympia.
That was the first game under the lights on our home field. And during the off-season, that's one of the things that was playing through my mind every time I was in the weight room or the fitness center upstairs.
The home opener started with a bang for the Cadets.
That was an exciting game to watch on the sidelines. That play, dual runs, he's already 20, 30 yards downfield. All of a sudden he sees Brett come up from behind him, he pitches him, blocks for him, Brett makes a cut, James Moss threw a nice block, and Brett goes into the end zone. Just one of the most amazing plays. My dad tells me about this. That's the greatest play I've ever seen. It was an unreal play. It's probably one of the top highlights on our highlight video from that year. The field. There was also the quarterback sneak. It might have been a 3rd or 4th and short, and there was a big pileup, and then all of a sudden you see Duel go out there and run the rest of the way for a touchdown. Some highlight reel plays in those 2 games.
Behind 3 touchdowns from Clark and 2 from Smith, the Cadets coasted to a 35-7 victory to bring their record to 500.
They weren't the greatest team, but they fought pretty hard against us. But we fought hard.
The Cadets would have to fight even harder for the following week, facing the #1 team in the state in Churchville Charlotte, led by the top-ranked recruit in the state, Aver and Collier, who had run over Hilton in 2 previous meetings.
I just remember wanting to get out there and beat the crap out of him because I hated everything from Churchville.
All you heard about in the media was Collier this, Churchville that.
7-0. This kid is unbelievable.
People weren't giving us a chance. I thought, if we end up getting a good draw down the way we win the games we should win, we could eventually meet Churchville in the sectional final. So we come out and play them well tonight. That can really help that confidence going forward, and that can show other people that this is a team, despite what the record shows, is a contender. So we knew it was a big opportunity for us.
The last time most of the seniors had played against Churchville was a 27-0 pummeling on JV 2 years prior.
The coach was telling us, they're still high school kids. They're no different than you guys. Still got the same problems. They're no bigger, no stronger. They're just kids. So I think that kind of helped us stay grounded and focused and didn't let our minds wander.
And Churchville was making a big spectacle out of it. It was homecoming.
So we're like, all right, let's show everybody up here.
Collier got off to a fast start with 7 carries for 110 yards, but limped off the field at the end of the first quarter and watched the second half from the sideline.
If you hit him real hard, banged him up a little bit, he would take himself out of the game. And we did see that. He did take himself out of that game because when we could hit him, we'd hit him hard.
While momentum appeared headed in Hilton's direction, Churchville's three-headed rushing attack continued to dominate even without its bell cow. Fullback Nate Boland plunged in for 2 touchdowns. But it was Collier's pocket-sized backup, Chris Vitale, who provided the brunt of the damage, with 27 carries for 207 yards and 3 touchdowns. His 2 second-quarter touchdowns gave the Saints a 21-14 halftime lead. Boland's second touchdown made it 29-14, but Lapani pulled out every trick in the bag to rally the Cadets. Hilton trailed by just 5 points late in the fourth quarter when Earnhardt's crushing hit on 4th down gave the Cadets a chance to take the lead.
There was an opportunity there in the fourth quarter where we were within 1 possession, I believe. And, maybe 1 play here, 1 play there, we could have won that game.
But the Cadets couldn't quite catch up. Vitale's 3rd touchdown with a minute remaining sealed the game, and the unbeaten Saints marched on with a 36-24 win, dropping Hilton to 2-3 on the season.
We made some stops at times, but then there were also times where I think Churchville was clearly the more talented team and just got maybe a few more yards a few times they needed to.
It was a loss, it sucked, but I came out of that game thinking, wow, we can actually do something this year.
Yeah, it wasn't really a defeated atmosphere. I think we played so well against them that even though we lost, it still gave us confidence. I mean, knowing the way we played against that caliber of a team, I think it was still another game that pumped us up a little bit.
We knew that we had played well in that game. Our record might not indicate it, but we knew that I think we had a good chance to turn some more heads. We were more confident going into the rest of our schedule after that.